What's good, gang? Welcome to Let's Play Sonic Superstars. I'm gonna start this one off by doing something I don't usually do. We're gonna be watching the little video that came out prior to the release of this game. I thought it'd be a cute way to start it, man. You know, get my shit in, get my time in. Just a little prelude. I don't know why this exists, man. Okay, let's start. I think it's really cool. And I think, surprisingly, the animation for this is way better than the opening cutscene for the game for pretty much any of the in-game cutscenes. This is a fire animation, but it also kind of doesn't tell you anything. It just kind of, it's technically a prequel, but it just gets, I guess, the fact that Fang, or Knack, or whatever he's called in this, he's here and he's a problem. And there's also like the introduction of Trip, who's the new, I don't know, Sonic bestie for the restie, the dragon, whatever. Sorry, spoilers. I'm sure that everybody and their mother has already seen this information by now, so I'm really not too, I'm not tripping about it. Please don't click off the video. Please, wait! But yeah, no, it's cute. It's cute. It's a fun little thing. I feel like I haven't watched it since it dropped, so clearly it didn't leave that much of an impression on me. Because when the prequel to Sonic Frontiers came out, by the way, it was all a dream. Ooh. When the prequel to Sonic Frontiers came out, that was actual heat, and it got me really hyped for the game. And it kind of paid off when the game was fire. And I don't know. In this case, I guess part of me looks back on it somewhat negatively just because the game was, you know, like a solid 6 out of 10. Instead of, I think, dude, Frontiers for me is like a solid 8, bruh. Like a solid 8 out of 10. It's really good. And maybe that's why I'm a little harsh on it, but I don't know. It's also just confusing. It's confusing why it exists. I guess it's meant to give you the characterization of this new trio of the trio of trouble. Do you get it? But I don't think it does much of that either way, at least not from stuff that we've already kind of seen. You know, Trip in the opening cutscene is shown to be shy or whatever, and Fang is shown to be kind of a dickhead, and Eggman is Eggman. And I feel like you get all that in the opening cutscene, and this just, it wasn't super necessary, but it's cool. It's better animated than anything else in the rest of the game, so I don't know. I kind of wish that upon making these, they wouldn't just relegate them to YouTube, because I'm sure at some point they're going to become lost media. I'd rather they put them in the game somehow, like maybe make it, dude, the second opening, you know how like Mania had 2 different openings where it would be opening 1 with one song and then opening 2 at a different song, just cute stuff like that. Do that for the prequel animations. Have an opening animation made by the same people, and then play this one after. So when people wait on the title screen for long enough, they're rewarded with 2 things, a double feature. You know, that way it would help to. Also, this song is actually gas. I'd never noticed that. Okay, alright, sorry. What I was saying, like, I don't know, a little double feature energy. I feel like we're wasting potential here, Sega, and we're also making it more difficult for people to preserve these games as, you know, historical artifacts. Which, I know that sounds dumb right now. This game came out 2.5 seconds ago, but, I don't know. Like, do your thing, Pookie. Check that out. Look, he learned from his dream. Isn't that so cool? That's so cool. No, but I think that forward-looking ideology is kind of what we need to make sure that we can preserve things properly. And I feel like while these are really sick, and don't stop doing them. They're awesome. Just, I don't know, make it more accessible in-game. You feel me? So yeah, by the way, that's the characterization. He finds something that's not even gonna come into effect until the last story. There's some, like, long-reaching shit here that doesn't make any sense, and there's no real way that the story is preluded by anything. Nothing makes a whole lot of sense when it comes down to it. But whatever. Let's hop into the actual game itself, the real recording of Sonic Superstars. Let's get it. Dude, it has taken me so long to get to this game for really no reason. I've wanted to play this game single player forever, so it's not like I've been trying to mobilize people to try to play this fucking game. And it's also not like I haven't tried to record this before. It's just, I don't know. I get like through 2 acts, and then everything I have to say about this game is done. We're playing Sonic Superstars, by the way. Whoa, no way! But this game is like so... It feels very nebulous to me, you know? I don't know if that's the right term for this, but it feels like it kind of doesn't exist or mean anything. Like, I don't know if that's a good way to explain my feelings for this game, but it, like, once you beat it, it's gone. And that's it. And the only times I hear about it is when they release a new costume and I see it all over Twitter and stuff like that. Also, I love this opening, but also, it's weirdly choppy, and everything else this team has ever done has been absolutely stunning and perfect. So I don't know why this in particular looks so strange, but it does, and I can't tell you why. It just does. It just does. So let's hop right into it. Let's hop right into it. I'm sure you already know the spoilers for this game. Everyone's seen it. There's that new character. I've played a little bit of this. I'm going to delete this data, because this was an attempt to record it that didn't turn out too well. I don't know how long it's going to take me to actually beat this game for real, because I know there's Trip's story. Let's play Sonic. Oh god, which costume should I pick? Boys, you know what I mean? I'll switch it up sometimes, but I want to rock Shattuck right now. But what was I saying? Bro, I lost my entire train of thought. I feel like I get through 2 zones in this game, and then everything I have to say about it is done. And the reason I stopped doing a recording of this last time I tried to record it was because, I had my friend with me, and he is notoriously problematic. And, like, I couldn't put some shit in. He's not, like, a terrible person or anything. He would just, like, bring up things that, like, should not be talked about in a Sonic Let's Play. And also, we got through 2 zones, and I was like, I'm kind of bored right now. Like, I don't know what to say, and I kind of want to go play another classic-esque Sonic game to really get a good point of comparison. I've played all of the mainline, you know, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, all of that shit so much that I do not really need to go back and play those to have a good point of comparison. I fucked up the jump. I'm never gonna recover emotionally. I played Mania enough. I've played a lot of these other 2D Sonic games enough, but I hadn't played the Advanced trilogy. So I wanted to try Advance just so I could have, like, a point of comparison for this game and games that people... What's the nicest way of saying this? Games that people suck off. Like, people love those games so much. And I played Advanced 1, and I'm gonna say it, really fun game. I feel like this game and Advanced 1 have a kind of shockingly similar level of quality. And that's not to diss Advanced 1, because like I said, this game it's fun. Like, there's a lot of weird decisions here and there that kind of bring it down, but I think overall this game is a good time. So, it's very interesting to me that this game got such a mixed reception, rather, whereas Advanced 1 seems to, at least when it comes to the popular community, Advanced 1 gets a lot of hype, and pretty much all of the Advanced get a lot of hype. Which I'm gonna say it, Advanced 3, high-key does not deserve that hype. I know that's not a super controversial take, but from what I've played of that game, not my favorite. Not the best classic Sonic-style game I've ever played. But moving on, we're playing a different game. I kind of want to hit some of the major points before we do anything. I really love this game's art style. And I think in some cases it loses itself, especially towards the end of the game. Like, this zone and the next zone are hands down the best looking zones in the game, and it only goes down from there. I know that's, like, not a good sign, but it's true. And I think that when the visuals of this game hit. They hit really hard, and they look super cool. I really like them. 2.5D classic Sonic it's been my dream, honestly. Ever since as a kid, I would look at the classic Sonic fan games that would come out, and I would see, you know, Sonic 3 HD, and I'd be like, no way. And I'd see Sonic 2 HD, and I'd be like, no way. But like, you know, there's also that video. It wasn't a real fan game, but someone made a mock-up where it was Mushroom Hill in 2.5D style. And that had me fiending as a child. Something fierce. And when this game was announced, I was immediately hyped. Like, I know some people were skeptical about the art style. I didn't understand, bro. I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted and more. I'm so excited for this. I'm so happy. And I think, honestly, artistically, this game turned out some fire stuff. And I really do appreciate all the effort they went through to make this game look as pretty as it is. That being said, some of the big things, big broad strokes, this game makes a lot of weird decisions. And we'll get to those when we get to those. We'll, you know, kind of roll through it and see how the cookie crumbles. But this game does make a lot of weird decisions. And it makes it one of these Sonic games that's a little hard to return to. Just because at the start, it's really fun. You can start doing a save file and have a good time. But then once you get a little too far into it, the cracks start to show, and you just don't want to play it anymore, unfortunately. And I feel like that's how it is for Advanced. I feel like that's how it is for this game. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a very weird dichotomy in the way that people in the Sonic community handled this game in Advance. And I feel like that's the most interesting thing I can talk about when it comes to this game. Like, it exists, and it's weird in a lot of places, and it's got its cracks, and they show, but so does Advance, so I'm confused as to why this game doesn't get a pass, but Advance does. I don't know, man. Rose-tinted glasses, that type of thing. Maybe this game doesn't have that level of charm, but I also feel like that's kind of bullshit, because it does. It's cool looking, it's pretty, it's fun when it's fun, until it's not. And I guess, you know what, we're here, we might as well talk about it. The boss fights in this game suck massive doo-doo dog shit. They are one of the worst things I've ever had the displeasure of playing. And they single-handedly take this game from a 7 to a 6. Easily. Easily. Without a doubt in my mind. I'll say that till the day I die. The bosses ruin this game. And they ruin any form of replay value the game could possibly have. I would, honestly, I enjoy the levels enough to go back and replay them. If not for the fact that I have to play these bosses at the end. And I think I know why they're like this. I've been doing a lot of hypothesizing, because these games usually don't have bosses. Like, the Sonic bosses aren't good, but they're never, like, this bad. So I was like, how did they fuck it up? I know they made Balan Wonderworld? I don't know. Whatever. Arzest made Balan Wonder whatever. So, like, I understand, you know, we're not starting off on a great foot. But everything else in this game, honestly, it works pretty well. So I was really confused as to how we got to the bosses. You know, like, how we got to that level of quality when the rest of the game is actually pretty aight. And I think what it comes down to is the new Emerald powers, which, look, I get it, the new Emerald powers are kind of cool, and I think there are a few that really alter the way that you play the game, and make things pretty interesting. But they fuck up so much that makes a classic Sonic game replayable, and it hurts me emotionally, man. You fuckhead! Unbelievable. You really baited me like that. You're done. You're done. But, like, what I'm talking about, the reason I was kind of blowing through that last zone and not really trying too hard, like, I didn't have a clear path, like I would in, let's say, Sonic Mania. If I was playing Sonic Mania, I would be hitting a very specific path so that I could get, like, 3 or 4 rings before I leave Green Hill. That's not the case in this game, because you can only get 1 Chaos Emerald per zone. And really, that's not a huge deal. There's a decent amount of zones in this game, so you don't have to stress too much about getting all the Chaos Emeralds in one run. even on your first try. But it does make exploring feel pretty worthless after a while, because once you've explored, once you've done your thing, you know, you've lived your life, you've gotten the emerald in that zone. I fucked that up so bad. You kind of don't need to do anything else. You don't have to keep an eye out for any of these other rings, because they'll turn blue, and they'll give you some fucking gems, or what are they? These metals that do actually nothing for you. You can buy stuff for battle mode, something that no one in their right mind has ever touched. And that's it. That's it, man. Like, it's such a waste of time to look for these rings, or even go in them after a certain point. So, you kind of just keep an eye out when you start a zone, and then you're done. And that's it. And it makes replaying these zones really not as fun, because I feel like I can't optimize a really good route. Like, you'll notice, I've been, especially on the first zone, I was in the lower route for an unreasonably long amount of time, and I just didn't care. Because it's like, I'm not really getting anything other than speed by going on the higher route. So I don't have a huge incentive to do that, especially after I've already beaten this game. And I've played the levels well enough, in my personal opinion, to, I don't know, warrant calling myself good enough at this game that it doesn't matter if I play well online. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You feel me? Maybe I'm just in that phase of life where I don't care how people look at me online anymore. And if they're like, he's a fake Sonic fan, he's not even on the top route in Sonic Superstars. Like, I can just be like, dude, go home. Go outside. Like, do something with your life. And that's just, you know, I'm rambling so hard, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, it just doesn't matter to me anymore. What was I saying? Something. Oh, yeah. These special stages are awful, by the way. I'm not talking about the Emerald special stages. I actually like those a lot, and I don't really understand the hate they get. But they're a recreation of the Sonic 1 special stages. Don't know if you know that. Little fun fact. But they're kind of a little more janky, and they feel worse to control because they're just too floaty. And they also don't get you a Chaos Emerald. They get you one of those medallions I just said was absolutely worthless. So, I don't know. Or sorry, they get you 3. But these don't, I don't know, they don't mean anything to me. I don't need them. I don't need them like I wanted them in Mania to unlock all the extra abilities. I don't want to dress myself up as Metal Sonic so I can fight against my friends. Because my friends aren't on this shit, dog. No one's gonna be on this shit. No one was on this shit at launch. The battle mode. Sorry, people were on this game at launch. But no one was on the battle mode at launch. No one's gonna be on the battle mode after launch. The battle mode was there as a tacked on, hey, this is a 4-player game. You know, look, check it out. You can fight against your friends. So cool. It's not cool, man. And, okay, I want to explain something right now. I'm playing this game in single player for a very specific reason. I think this game is a solid 6, maybe 7's pushing it, but a solid 6 out of 10 in single player. When you get to multiplayer, this game breaks down. This game was not made for that. And I think the reason people have the perception they do of this game is because they have friends. And they played it multiplayer first time. I also played it multiplayer first time. Not the flex or anything. But it was such a vastly different experience than playing it single player. This feels like Sonic Advance when you're playing it single player. But when you play it multiplayer, it feels like the biggest, buggiest, broken mess I've ever seen in my life. So, just fair warning. If you want to experience this game at its best, don't play with friends. It is the worst way to play this game. Don't do it. And look, I'm a masochist. I'm sure at some point I'll do a cute little, oh, check it out, 4-player, video, whatever. But for now, we're just experiencing this game as is. The single-player experience, probably what it was designed to be, and not that weird tacked-on 4-player shit. Again, I'm sure battle mode was the same thing. It was just tacked on at the end when Sega was like, let's make this 4-player so we can make it worth $60 or whatever. I don't know. Look, I'm gonna be so real with you. I think the multiplayer for this game, this will be a hot take, by the way. So, like, I'm preparing you and setting it up for a good reason. I think the multiplayer for this is better than the multiplayer for Mario Wonder. And, like, let me cook. It was so broken that it was really fun. And in Wonder, you kind of just play the same level at the same time. And when I played multiplayer, it was a really good time because I hadn't played that game before. And it kind of just, I don't know. It was fun to experience it for the first time with someone else. But it didn't add anything to the game, really. It was very worthless. But this game, oh, it added something. it added quite a bit. So, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I think this game kind of peaked with multiplayer in comparison to Mario Wonder. Mario Wonder bad, this game better. I'm joking, by the way. I don't know if you can tell. No one in their right mind would say that. So this is also something kind of weird about this game. There are so many just strange decisions that aren't super well explained. There are individual character acts that are actually pretty cool, and I appreciate them for the most part, but there are certain instances where it just doesn't make any fucking sense. So, like, this game forces you to do, let me start off with this. They are optional. These extra character acts are optional, and I do think they are arguably worse quality than every other stage in the game. So, you're really not missing out on much by, not playing these levels. Like, this one is just Knack is following you, or whatever his name is now. Fang the Sniper is following you. And you are, avoiding him. And there's these few little platforming challenges here or there that kind of slow down the pace of things. It's harmless. It's harmless fun. I think, okay, that was weird. I've never had that happen to me before. It's harmless fun, and I don't think that these levels are, like, poorly designed or anything, but they're not of the same quality that the rest of the game is. But it's extra content there if you're interested in that, if you want to really experience everything this game has to offer. Except for Amy's stage. The only level you have to play that's character-specific, that is forced on you, is the Amy level. And it is the worst level in the game by far. It is actual dog shit. And when you're playing in multiplayer, if you decide to play one of these levels, it will force you to play single player. Because it's a character-specific act. So there are, in some cases, if you're playing as, like, Knuckles, you'll have to climb on shit and glide and whatever. And Tails, you'll have to fly and all this stuff. So because it's character-specific, you have to play single player. So if you're in multiplayer, you'll just sit here and watch someone play through these, like, 4-minute long acts while you do nothing. Because, oh, whoopsies, you gotta play as Sonic for this one, for whatever reason, even though you can definitely play this as any other character and be fine. But, like, I don't know, it's just such a weird thing, because midway through the game, or not midway through, like, even earlier than that in the game, they'll force you to play the fucking Amy one, and if you're playing multiplayer, it'll force you to go single player, and you'll have to sit there and watch someone play one of the worst Sonic levels I've ever seen designed ever. Whoever put paper to page on that and started designing that shit, you need help. You need Jesus. You need something. Because that was not... I don't even know if I can call it level design, man. We'll get there. But it's just like such a lazy use of Amy's abilities. I don't know. Amy's a really cool character, and I kind of hate that she got shafted like that. And had this fruit hitting stage where you're carrying Trip and whatever, man. I guess they had to put it because it had some mild bearing on what little story this game does have, but I don't like why. Why? I don't get it. Just let me. That I didn't know it did that. I actually haven't died to that before, so I was high-key surprised by that. It kind of put me back far too, bro. What? Nah, that's crazy. This level's not bad though. I kind of don't mind it. There's not a whole lot going on. I'm gonna say that right now. And maybe this is why when I started recording it last time, like, I got to this level and I was like, yeah, I gotta compare this to something else. Because I wanted to see what the vibe was like. Because I don't know, I'm so conflicted. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not like Sonic Force's level of mediocre. I'm still having a good time because the game feels good to control. And there's some flow to the level design. Like, it's not Sonic 3 or Sonic 2 level flow. It's not even Sonic 1 Green Hill level flow. But I don't know. It's like a nice Sonic 1 I I don't know, not even Spring Yard Zone. That one's actually pretty fast too. Sonic 1. Actually, you know what? Maybe Spring Yard. I'll give it that. I'll give it Sonic 1 Spring Yard. It's kind of a Sonic 1 Spring Yard's flow, and that's not a bad thing. That's one of the peak stages in Sonic 1, but like, compared to the rest of the game and compared to what Sonic 3 and Sonic 2 set up for this franchise, you know, it's just, it's alright. It's alright. It's okay. I've played better. Let's get through the, let's go through the second act in this zone, and then we'll call it. We'll do two zones per episode. By the way, this is what little story they give you. There's Trip, who's that character with the bucket on their head. Fang, and they're just kind of dicking around for Eggman. And that's it. There's an entire, like, opening, there's the whole opening cutscene. You all saw that. I made sure of it. I made sure of it. And then there's also something we've been doing for all of the recent Sonic entries, where it's this online YouTube video that's pretty cool. I might even throw it into the beginning of this and talk over it a little bit. It has actually no bearing on the story, though, so I don't know why we needed that one. It's just cute. It gets people hyped up. Also, what the fuck are these? Like, I get it. It's like the Sonic 3 type of deal where, ooh, look, it's a fun little stage to give you more things. But also, why are they just appearing randomly in strange spots? Also, who thought it was a good idea to bring back this Sonic 4 level design? Okay, I'm gonna be so real with you. When I saw this gameplay, this is when I started getting skeptical. When I saw them release footage for this, I was like, this game is gorgeous. The levels look fun. But there's some weird red flags here. Like, they brought back Sonic 4, like, Dark Zone type shit, which people actually hated. They were like, it just doesn't fit Sonic. I guess people didn't hate it. It wasn't horrible. People hated it by virtue of it just being in Sonic 4, and people have a hate boner for Sonic 4. But I just fucked that up for sure. Go down, help me. Someone save me. No, okay, we're wrong way. This way. Yes, I probably shouldn't have jumped if I didn't know where I was going. But they brought this back, and I was like, people didn't love this. It doesn't really fit Sonic, so I don't know why it's here. And then you add multiplayer on top of that, and trust me, if you didn't like it in single player, it gets worse. Because it only follows one person. One of the fireflies, or whatever the butterflies, only follow one person. So it gets bad really quickly. And then you have these areas in the stage where you kind of loop when you fall, and you have to find the right path, and you, like, those aren't horrible, and those exist in Sonic 3 as well. But no one liked them in Sonic 3. Like, that was in Sandopolis Zone Act 2. One of the notoriously doo-doo dog shit Sonic 3 zones. Like, no one liked that in Sonic 3. So I don't know why they were like, you know what, let's bring it back. Let's do it. That's what people liked, right? Especially in a stage like this where, honestly, the speed and the flow is really cool. I think this is a beautiful stage. The level design is more often than not insanely good. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what the vibe was when they were designing this shit. Like, they decided to bring back some stuff, but decided not to bring back, I don't know, other things, other really cool level design, set pieces from other games. It's weird, man. It's weird. Everyone knows this, so I'm really not adding anything to the conversation by saying this. It's an obvious step back from Mania, especially in level design, but I don't know, man. This is where I'm starting to... This is why, after this zone, I'm taking a recording break, because I don't even know what to talk about anymore, you know? You get to a certain point, and you're like, this game, it just exists, man, and it's a confusing mess of shit where they decided to make these weird decisions like, oh, check it out. We have these cool character stages, but, you know, most of them you don't have to do, but one of them you have to do, and also, because of the Emerald powers, the bosses take super fucking long and have these doo-doo dog shit really long. You gotta wait periods, and then also you've got, you can't collect all the emeralds in one zone, or two zones, which kind of ruins routing and makes replaying the game less fun, and then the bosses are here to make replaying the game less fun, because it just takes so goddamn long to beat them, and I don't know. There's just things here and there that add up, which is so unfortunate. Because this game could have been so fire, and it looked so fire. I was gonna pre-order it, man. But you know what? I didn't get it till the price drop. The price dropped a month and a half after it released. Can we talk about that? Let's talk about that. Actually nuts, man. And it makes sense. No one fucking wanted to buy this game for $60. It was a $30 game max. And I'm really glad they did their little price drop and they fixed everything and they made the game, you know, actually a reasonable price. But, man, there could have been something. There could have been potential. I also think the way they brought back the story structure from the adventure games, personally, I was never a fan of that. I always thought it led to, like, somewhat lazy shit, where, like, okay, for Sonic Heroes, I'm sorry, boys, you would have to play the game 3 times with, like, minor changes and, like, level design tweaks. I just didn't think that was fun. I didn't think that was that fire. And then they kind of do it here with the next story thing, where there's Trip's story, and then you have the final story and whatever, and I haven't even done those yet, because I was so worn out on this game after beating the main story, which God knows it's gonna take forever for me to get into this shit. I'm not gonna finish this game anytime soon. That's facts. I'm throwing that out there right now. But I'll catch you in part 2.